It's a way of our kind to do as we're told. Our nature says run. We're taught to be bold. But if you were the horse and if I were to ride, I'd want you to know we're on the same side.
What if you knew there was a silent language of the horse? A language that went beyond the spoken word or even body language. A language so comprehensive, so subtle, it allowed you to create a partnership thought impossible by most in the equine community today. Journey with us to discover your horse's true voice. The horses are speaking to us all the time. Are you ready to hear the whisper?
Do you know something's missing? I'd give you my all if you would just listen.
When you keep that eye on eye, then you can say thank you. So for example, if you see her soften in the footfall or she changes her speed, you drop your eyes below her nose and that would be a thank you, and then straight back on her eyes. And then just because she's running, because she's going to teach you all kinds of the language right now, doesn't mean that we can't follow in that little circle that we have. She's just going to teach you everything. It's like, here's the classroom, she's in it. I need to know with the energetic connection, where am I standing while I'm talking to you? Where am I standing? What am I feeling? And where are you? Are you with me? And that's the piece you really saw there, right? On the other side of the bubble versus on, and when you felt that, you were just beaming and she was going flawlessly forward.
We as the humans have the lion's share of the responsibility to make sure that animal's needs are met. We put them in an artificial environment. That creates that obligation.
You can't settle for it's always been done this way. You have to explore new areas. Communicating with the horse, communicating with the rider, communicating with the people that are using your services. And if they all feel that they're partners, I think they would have a vested interest.
If all you're doing is partnering through body language, you're partnering on a superficial level. You've chosen that depth of partnering, which is, I will read your body language and your response. And you wouldn't know how the last 23 hours have been spent in their stall. You wouldn't know if you've gone for 2 days or 2 weeks, how they've been. But you can feel the energy. That's not body language. When we ask for left, naturally that means that they'd go right because the pressure would be on the nose. So we're teaching them to go against what's natural. And the dually halter is a great way to teach them that with safety for you. We have the 4 places to lower the horse's head for different reasons. And the most common location is right here underneath the halter. That's the most common, because obviously when we get into leading, people are holding a lead rope, and hence we're on underneath here, clipped on underneath here. When we ask for the head drop, this hand's just holding the coils. We stand as close to the shoulder as possible, and we're applying a tad of pressure just underneath the halter. Any therapy barn, this is one of the biggest complaints from the management, that the horses are being dragged, the horses aren't coming off pressure. If you train your horse to this piece and you train your walkers to this piece, there will be zero problems with it. You just got to get them listening to the halter correctly and it will be fine.
Safety is found inside of ourselves. Healing happens when the heart feels safe. Horses have a natural way to melt our hearts. They are masters at reading energy and master healers as they dissolve our fears, concerns, worries and anxieties, taking us to this very moment, a moment of love.
We go out to the barn, a person goes out to the barn and they've had a bad day at work and they bring that bad day with them. Those horses have no reason to believe that that's not going to be displaced anger upon them. They have every reason to believe it very well might. So then they do something like stand on your foot or move through the gate too fast because they're in fear, and sure enough, self-fulfilling prophecy, they get reprimanded because this person's already had a bad day and the last thing they want is grief from this horse. So it happens to them all the time, and I always say it always begins with us. It always begins with the human.
They will measure your energetic field. And what that means is, at what point do you feel my presence? That's what it means. If my back was turned and I was looking at a horse, at what point would I feel you approaching that I look back to see who's approaching?
Oh. Oh.
So you see him breathing rhythmically, a little bit of licking and chewing. These are classed as signs of relaxation and releases. You see his eyes shutting a bit. Okay, see that? He just shut his eyes twice, 3 times. So he's got a bit of blinking going on, but his eyes are really relaxed. His head's just nodding like he's going to sleep. So what you see is that moment of sharing that time together where you can put a prayer in, you can put a blessing in, but the intention's there.
So the animal communication that we're talking about with telepathy is a language of love, which answers that, yes, exact piece. It's a language of love. And so it's nothing to do with body language, and it's nothing to do with, in effect, reading the animal's energy in their presence. It's not to do with that either.
Just think of the trot in your head. Keep driving her and think of trotting. So if you see pictures, just put the picture of a trot, but keep driving her. Did you get the picture in there?
Yeah.
Well, you did really well.
Thank you.
So this can take it that bit deeper. That's the glory. Where you may watch the animal in the therapeutic riding setting or watch the individual horse as they're coaching, you can actually talk to them prior, after, during, anytime you want to, and truly establish who do they like, how do they like the lesson to be, what style would they adopt, what cues are misleading, what is it that they need to help them either for their lessons, for their training, or after the lesson.
When we were looking for our vet for Hidden Acres Farm, we took a precious amount of time in trying to find exactly what we needed for our program.
A lot of people think, oh, my horse is ready to retire, and that would be a really good time to turn him over to a therapeutic riding program. But I think that the age is not necessarily as important, and I don't think all retirees are necessarily appropriate for a therapeutic riding program. They definitely have to adapt to a lot. I think their stress is just very different. You know, they can get ulcers too, but I'm not sure it's caused by the same type of stress as a Grand Prix jumper. So yeah, I think that's preventative care, and understanding where you're starting at is very important.
Most people with sore backs also have sore necks. It's the same with horses. If they have a sore back, they have a sore neck, and it usually ends up at the poll, which is the base of your skull in the human. even though their skull doesn't quite look like ours. If you go to tack the horse, you put on a saddle pad in the saddle, but before that you brush the horse, and if he were to flinch as you're brushing him, then you would want to palpate the back to see if there's something going on.
When we end up with horses or people with chiropractic issues, we know that that nervous system isn't functioning optimally. And so by adjusting them, we're hoping to improve the functioning of both the musculoskeletal structure, but also more importantly, the nervous system, so that the horse can be healthy.
You really have to have that support in an organization from the top down, so everybody understands that it's not going to be necessarily about numbers, it's about the quality of the session. And when you have the flexibility to do that, to allow your intuition and your heart to drive what's happening every day, that you're creating the best possible scenario for everyone involved. And that's the students, the staff, and the horses.
We really have to understand the military training and conditioning of our veterans to react as if their actions were instinct rather than a thought process. The veterans go through many hours of lifelike training to combat the real threat of war through instinct rather than their normal human thought process of responding. The issue lies in the veteran returning to what we as citizens see as normal life and using the thought processes and overriding their instincts that they've built during their training. Their reintegration needs to include training their brain to slow down and think. The horses are wonderful teachers for them in this slowing process because the horses are reactionary animals who live due to their ingrained instincts for millions of years. The horses can allow the veterans to see how their instincts make quick work of escaping or what we might even see as overreaction. The horses, being such a large and powerful animal, can invoke a reaction from a veteran, creating a situation where the veteran can see how they may also react once returning home to their environments and the people around them. This can also allow the vet a chance to slow down and deliberately respond to the horse and allow the horse to respond to them rather than a chain of reactions. The horse is a wonderfully forgiving creature who, in spite of their size and instinct, you can see them really try to understand what it is that's being asked of them. The horse tries to overcome their fears and concerns, and that can make the veteran also want to overcome their own fears and concerns. For veterans to have a 1,000-pound horse believe that they're not going to hurt them and be willing to work with them, trying to understand, I believe helps the veteran's psyche believe they can again become a person integrated in what we consider normal society and regain a part of their soul, which they shut off in order to perform their tasks of safeguarding our country.
I get in a happy place, I guess, because I know where I'm going is where they need me, and they're very appreciative of me being here, and I really dig the kids. They are so different, each one of them so different, and getting to see how the instructors carry on their session, I'm learning so much about what simple things really make such a huge difference for the kids.
I think that being here has given me the opportunity to be with horses in a new way, in a way that allows me to be open and mindful of what the horses are bringing to us.
If you think you can, you might, but if you believe you can, you will. And hold your beliefs strong, hold them close to your heart, implement them, and find a way, and your program, your horses, your participants, your volunteers, everyone that's involved with your farm or your program will shine because of it. But hold your beliefs dear, hold your mission, hold your vision, and always move towards that. And that belief will carry you through time and again.